Welcome back, sports fans. I'm your host, Bryce Moore. This is Rowdy Sports Network, your place for all sports on WPLH 88.3 ABAC Radio. Let's get rowdy.
We got it. We're good.
All right, it's spring break at ABAC, and we're in the studio. Not taking a spring break. We're in the studio because it's March Madness. We're going to be filling out our brackets. We're going to have a network bracket. I'll have a bracket. Noah will have a bracket. And then we're going to open it up to everybody at home. You can have a bracket as well. If you have a perfect bracket, you will win a care package put together by the show, and we'll also have you on the show. We're not giving away for the most accurate bracket. We're only giving away for a perfect bracket. And if you think you have a perfect bracket, enter it into the link in the bio. Brackets are due on Thursday. The brackets are due by the 20th of March, March 20, 3/20/2025. Yeah, we're gonna pick. I've built my bracket. I'll cover my bracket after we pick Noah's bracket, and then we'll do a Rowdy Sports Network bracket, similar to how we did 12-team playoff for college football. When you join the bracket challenge through the link, the password is RSN1234. We've got a couple things to talk about before we actually get into it, but I think we should just talk about it as we go through the bracket, like our opinions and stuff.
All right, we can do that.
Two big news. As of last week, I have declared as an ABAC graduate of December 2025. And then you have news.
I got engaged. I popped the question after Brice popped the question, so I was a little bit behind, but it's all right. Still popped the question and did it yesterday. Had pictures taken and everything, and I am happily now a fiance.
So the Rowdy Sports Network boys are off the block completely now. We're both ringed up. So yeah, I'm graduating. We're both getting married. Pretty insane time to be alive. So let's get Noah's bracket put together. All right, Auburn or Alabama State / SFU?
I'm going Auburn with that.
Auburn or not Auburn, Louisville or Creighton?
I'm actually going Creighton on that. I mean, Louisville made it, but a little bit of an underdog. I like Cinderella
Underdog
stories.
action.
But I don't know if you can call
Creighton is an
underdog, but I'm gonna call them an underdog in this.
Michigan, UC, San Diego.
I'm going Michigan with that one.
No Cinderella there?
No, I feel like Michigan is doing pretty good this year.
Yeah, playing really good ball. Texas A&M or Yale?
Going Texas A&M.
No Cinderella story there either.
No Cinderella.
So how did UNC make the tournament?
I don't see it. I think this is a big miss by the committee who made the bracket. I don't see how they have made it in this. They played decent ball sometimes, but a lot of times they did not play very good at all. I don't see why they made it.
Do you think they make a comeback story out of this?
No, I think they're a first round. I think they're a first round exit. I think Ole Miss takes them out.
So do you think they beat SDSU?
Actually, no. I don't even think they beat SDCU. If they beat them, then they have to go play Ole Miss, and I feel like Ole Miss wipes the floor with them.
I don't think Ole Miss there.
Huh?
You're taking Ole Miss there regardless?
Yeah, I'm taking Ole Miss there regardless. I don't think that they're going to be able to.
All right, you're one that you guessed. Like every time an L would pop up, you guessed them every single time in the last episode. Are playing Iowa State. Are you taking Lipscomb or
Actually,
Iowa State?
I'm going to go Lipscomb on that.
I went Lipscomb as well.
We're both going to be wrong. Our bracket busted first day of it. That'd be upsetting.
Marquette or New Mexico?
I'm going Marquette on them.
Okay. Bryant or Michigan State?
Michigan State.
No Cinderella team there.
No Cinderella with Bryant. Sorry.
Right. We're going to finish out the South. I'm going to do it bracket to bracket, and then we'll go to the Elite Eight once we have, or the Final Four once we have everybody from each. So, Auburn or Creighton?
Let's go Auburn. Auburn's been playing good ball this year.
Michigan or Texas A&M?
I'm going Michigan with that.
Ole Miss or Lipscomb?
Ole Miss. I think Lipscomb gets knocked out there.
Marquette or Michigan State?
Marquette. No, actually, no. I take that back. Michigan State.
Michigan State, Ole Miss.
I'm actually gonna go Michigan State on that.
Okay. Auburn or Michigan?
Auburn.
Auburn, Michigan State.
Auburn. I feel like Auburn's gonna make a good run.
Auburn wins out the South.
I think Auburn's gonna make a very good run.
Let's go over which is easier for you, the East or the West?
Go West.
Okay. Florida or Norfolk State?
Florida. Florida's playing excellent ball this year. I mean, I watched them when they were playing the SEC tournament. They played very, very, very well. They are a good running team.
UConn or Oklahoma?
I watched the Georgia-Oklahoma game. Georgia got torched by one dude on Oklahoma all night. All night, this dude torched us. But other than that, on Oklahoma, I didn't see many people step up the way they need to. So I'm going to go UConn on that. I could get nipped in the butt later on, but
I mean, they're really mirror team. If you look at their true shooting percentage, they both have a 59. If you look at net ranking, Oklahoma's 43 and UConn's 32. If you look at opponent efficiency, UConn takes care of their opponents a little bit better.
yeah.
The seeding wise, I mean, they're 9-8. Overall winning percentage, UConn's got a 71 and Oklahoma's got a 61. So you're only beating them by 10%.
Yeah.
If you look at the free throw accuracy, they both have a 79. So I mean, they're really a tit for tat team. So I think it could go either way. There.
If UConn can just keep Oklahoma away from shooting free throws, it should work out just fine for them.
So just no fouls.
You got to commit no fouls. I mean, there's going to be fouls, but you got to try your hardest because when Oklahoma, when they were playing Georgia and they went up for free throws, they were knocking them down back to back to back, and it was just upsetting to watch.
Which is something I can't relate to, is knocking down free throws.
Free throws is the best thing I was at.
Memphis or Colorado State?
I'm actually going to ride with Memphis on that one.
Okay. Maryland or Grand Canyon?
You know what? I'm going GCU.
Really?
Yeah, I'll go Grand Canyon.
Wow.
I need some Cinderellas in this.
I understand.
I need some.
Speaking of Cinderellas, Missouri or Drake?
Missouri played good ball, too. I'm going to take Missouri.
Okay. Texas Tech, UNC, Wilmington.
God, I want Cinderellas, but I'm going to go Texas Tech on that one.
I feel like you're going to come back to this exact moment where you said that. And
And we're
UNC
like,
Wilmington's
son of
going to be in the Final Four. Kansas and Arkansas.
I mean, if they make it in the Final Four, I will be perfectly fine with that. Perfectly fine. I'll be like, yeah, okay. This is one team I was wrong about, but you made it. I like to see Cinderellas, but sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Kansas or Arkansas?
I'm going to go Kansas.
Okay. And then St. John's or Omaha?
St. John's.
I took Omaha.
Really?
Yeah, I just figured
I'm
Cinderella.
going to go St. John's on that one.
All right, let's go up to Florida, UConn. I feel like we've seen this matchup before in some sport, maybe baseball.
We definitely have. I'm going Florida.
Memphis, GCU.
GCU comes to an end. Memphis takes it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Missouri, Texas Tech.
I'm actually going to take Texas Tech on that.
And then Kansas and St. John's.
I'm going to go St. John's. I'm going to let St. John's run some more.
St. John's, Texas Tech.
I'll go St. John's again.
Florida, Memphis.
Florida.
Florida, St. John's.
This is where they come to an end, going Florida.
Really? All right, we going East
Uh,
or Midwest?
yeah, go East.
All right, Duke, AU, or Mount? I don't know who that is.
The question is Flag back? But
Cooper Flag's playing in the tournament. He's been cleared.
It's been cleared. I think really he can sit out this first round and be fine.
Yeah.
Because Duke handled in their conference championships, they handled it perfectly without him there. But I think Duke's got it.
Okay.
I think Flag can sit.
Mississippi State or Baylor?
I'm going to go Mississippi State on that.
Oregon or Liberty?
We'll go Oregon.
Arizona or Akron?
Arizona.
Taking down the Zips.
Mm-hmm.
BYU or VCU?
Let's go BYU on that.
Wisconsin or Montana? The Grizz.
We'll go Wisconsin.
St. Mary's or Vandy?
I'm going to go St. Mary's.
Really?
Yeah.
When you hear my bracket, you're going to slap me from across this table.
You probably have a whole bunch of underdogs trying to make this.
Alabama or Robert Morris?
I'm going to go Alabama. Alabama's been playing really good ball this year as well.
All right, are you going Duke or Mississippi State?
We'll go Duke.
Are you going to go Oregon or Arizona?
I'm actually going to go Arizona on that.
Okay. BYU or Wisconsin?
I'm going to go BYU.
St. Mary's or Alabama?
Alabama.
Duke or Arizona?
Duke.
BYU or Alabama?
Alabama.
Duke or Alabama? So far, you've got 1s and 2s making it a lot.
I know. And I picked all ones.
No Cinderella teams here.
I'm actually going to go Alabama.
All right, let's go to the Midwest.
If you notice, all three are SEC teams.
They are.
They are.
You've still got
because
you still got 3 SEC teams that you could pick. 4.
They're a top in the SEC, and they've been playing really, really well this year.
Which is not normal.
It's not normal. There was 16 teams from the SEC that made it. 14 to 16 teams of the SEC that made it. It made no sense.
It's dominated by the Big 12 and the ACC.
Yeah, it's rare to see SEC actually make it this far, have this many in the end.
All right, you're going to take Houston or SIU Edwardsville?
Where did they come out of?
I think it's Southern Illinois University.
I'm going to go Houston. I'm going to go Houston.
You sure? Because you kind of
I'm going to go Houston.
All right, Gonzaga or Georgia? The Battle of the Dogs.
I want Georgia to win this, so I'm going to go in Georgia.
So you're taking the heart over the head. Gotcha. Clemson, McNeese.
I'm actually going to go McNeese on this one.
Dude, the walkout, there's no way they stop
That's
here.
got to get him after.
There's no
Bro,
way
did you see he got a NIL deal with Buffalo Wild Wings?
Dude, I would be using that every day.
He is the first ever manager to get an NIL deal, and he got it with Buffalo Wild Wings.
Where am I at? I want an NIL deal.
For real, bro.
Purdue or High Point University?
I'm going to go High Point.
Really?
I'm going to go High Point.
Okay, so you got a 13 and 12 playing against. I got you. Illinois or Texas/Xavier, which I think is going to be the best matchup of the final or the early 4.
I do not think Texas should be in this.
No.
They should not be in
North Carolina and Texas just got in there because the name.
No, Texas helped solidify a little bit because they made it to second or third round of the SEC tournament. That's the only reason, is because they got some wins there. But, I mean, they struggled in the SEC this year. They were not the best. They were 16 out of however many. They did not play, or 14 or 16. They did not play that well in the SEC this year. I don't think they should deserve to make it. I feel like there could have been some other teams that made it, but it's whatever. But I'm going Illinois on this one.
Gotcha.
I don't think anyone
fighting Illinois. All right, Troy, Kentucky.
I'll go to Kentucky on that.
UCLA, Utah State.
Let's go Utah State.
That's odd, but okay.
Why is that odd?
I just figured you'd go UCLA there.
No, we'll go Utah State.
Tennessee or Wofford?
Tennessee.
See, I just think Tennessee, UCLA would be a sick matchup, but that's just me. Houston or Georgia?
This is where the dogs come to an end. I'm going Houston.
Gotcha. McNeese, High Point.
McNeese.
The walkouts. Illinois, Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Utah State, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Houston, McNeese. Will the glass slipper prevail?
Let's go McNeese.
The clock does not run
They're
out.
going to make a run. They're going to make a run.
Kentucky, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Tennessee, McNeese. Will the glass slipper fall or will the time run out?
Tennessee played good ball this year, but they got blown out by Florida in the end. I can't have 4 SEC teams. It looks like I'm like going towards SEC, but they've just been playing. The tops have been playing such good ball this year. Such good ball.
But you have McNeese beating Houston, and they're a number 1 seed.
Shut up, bruh. Go McNeese.
You're going to put a Cinderella team in?
Yes.
All right,
I
your
have
final
to.
4 is Florida and Auburn, Alabama and McNeese. Who are your final 2 for the championship game? Kind of intrigued by that giggle.
I'm going to go Florida, Alabama.
Florida, Alabama for your final. Who is your champion of March Madness 2025?
God, I hate to do this. Florida.
You're going to crown Florida. What is the final score?
You know what? We'll go like total points. You only give my final
I
score.
want you to give me your final score.
97-85.
97 to 85.
Mine just says how many total points will be scored in the championship.
Yeah, I'm just putting you on the official bracket website.
Florida's just played such good ball this year.
All right, you ready for my bracket of the century?
Well, let's hear that bracket, cuh.
All
What's
right.
bracking, cuh?
We're back with my bracket after taking a brief intermission. I've got Auburn beating Alabama State.
Okay.
I have Creighton beating Louisville.
Okay, so we're same boat there.
I have Michigan beating UC San Diego. I have Yale beating Texas A&M.
Okay.
I have either SDSU or UNC beating Ole Miss.
Okay.
I have Lipscomb beating Iowa State.
So we both rode with Lipscomb.
I've got Marquette beating New Mexico State, or New Mexico. And I have Michigan State beating Bryant. Then I have Auburn beating Creighton, Michigan beating Yale, Lipscomb beating either SDSU or UNC, and Marquette beating Michigan State. Then I have Auburn beating Michigan, and Marquette beating Lipscomb. Then I have Auburn beating Marquette to get into the Final Four.
Okay, so you rode Auburn, same as I did.
For the West, I have Florida beating Norfolk State, Oklahoma beating UConn,
Okay.
Colorado State beating Memphis,
Okay.
Maryland beating Grand Canyon, Missouri beating Drake, worse than Kendrick, UNC Wilmington beating Texas Tech,
Okay.
Kansas beating Arkansas, and Omaha beating St. John's.
Okay. Don't tell me you have somebody Cinderella make it all the way to the end of the championship.
No.
Okay. Final
I
Four?
have not really Cinderella, but not
Okay.
not-
I'll
not
hear
the
it in a
top
minute.
four.
I'll
Yeah.
hear it in a minute.
Florida beating Oklahoma,
Okay.
Colorado State beating Maryland, I've got Missouri beating UNC Wilmington, and Kansas beating Omaha. Florida will go on to beat Colorado State.
Uh-huh.
Kansas will go on to beat Missouri.
Okay.
And Kansas will beat Florida to get into the Final Four.
Okay.
Now I know what you're going to say. Kansas hasn't been top dog since 2022. I think they have a chance.
All right.
And I think Florida will get cocky and their luck run out. Even though they have a chance to go all the way. Dad's got them going all the way and winning the championship.
Dad knows ball.
But Dad also picked them to beat Auburn in the Final Four.
Dad knows ball.
And Dad's an Auburn fan, which is kind of scary.
Yeah, Dad knows ball. Florida's been balling out all year.
Which Dad also played basketball in high school and played men's league after high school. So I've got Duke beating AU or Mount.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Baylor beating Mississippi State. I've got Oregon beating Liberty. Arizona beating Akron. BYU beating VCU. Wisconsin beating Montana. Vanderbilt beating St. Mary's. And Alabama beating Robert Morris. Then I have Duke beating Baylor. In a close one. Buzzer beater, maybe. A lot of fouls in the fourth. Or in the last half of the second. Arizona beating Oregon. BYU beating Wisconsin. And for the second time in the 24-25 season, Vanderbilt will beat Alabama. Different sport, but Vanderbilt will beat Alabama. And it'll be made into a meme all over Instagram. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But Rowdy Sports Network posted it first. All right. Then I got Duke beating Arizona, BYU beating Vanderbilt, and Duke beating BYU to get into the Final Four. As for the Midwest, I've got Houston beating SIU Edwards, Georgia beating Gonzaga.
Oh, so you actually rode with them.
Mm-hmm.
How far do you ride that ride?
Farther than you'd think.
Really?
Yeah. I've got McNeese beating Clemson, Purdue beating High Point. I really wanted to pick High Point. Really wanted to.
I did.
I just don't know. I don't know. I've got Illinois beating Xavier or Texas first. They don't make it. I've got Kentucky beating Troy, UCLA beating Utah State, and Tennessee beating Wofford. Then I've got Georgia beating Houston, McNeese beating Purdue, Illinois beating Kentucky, and Tennessee beating UCLA.
Okay.
Then I've got McNeese beating Georgia.
You didn't ride it as far as you rode it like 2 rounds, and you're like, throw them away.
Illinois beating Tennessee. And then Illinois beating McNeese to get into the Final Four. So my Final Four are Auburn and Kansas and Duke and Illinois. I've got Kansas beating Auburn and Duke beating Illinois. And your final two will be Duke and Kansas. I've got Duke beating Kansas 115-101 in overtime.
In overtime? You've got it going to overtime?
Yeah. And that's my bracket.
I don't think it goes overtime.
You don't think it goes overtime at all?
No. I mean, there will be overtime games, yes, but in the championship, no overtime.
So we're going to do the Rowdy Sports Network bracket.
Mm-hmm.
But the way we're going to do it is mascots.
Okay.
So, first we have to determine who's going to be the first in, first out.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Alabama State Hornets versus the St. Francis U Red Flash. I think a Hornet beats a Red Flash. I don't know what a Red Flash is. Maybe a gas station.
No, Red Flash, I think of actually like superhero Flash.
He just like sprays the Hornet.
He just runs around and sprays it. So I'm going to go Flash. Is this me picking them, or are we picking them together?
We're picking together.
So what do you think dominates?
I think Flash, if we're talking about him carrying around some spray to spray the Hornets, I think that kills immediately.
Yeah, so we're both going Flash.
Yeah. So are we going to take the Auburn Tigers or the Red Flash? Who would win in a fight, a Tiger or a Flash? I think a Tiger would maul Flash to death.
I think so, too. I think if he gets a good paw in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's got a 5 strength, a 4 agility, a 2 endurance, and a 4 charisma. I think the Tiger takes it here.
I think Tiger takes it as well.
Okay, now we got a Cardinal and a Blue Jay.
I think a Cardinal's more upset and pissed off than a Blue Jay is.
Now let's listen to the stats.
Do you actually have stats?
They have stats.
There's no way.
All right.
Where did you find this?
They're both songbirds, which means they just sing. I don't know.
Who sings better?
I don't know. Chris Stapleton was back in the Creighton Blue Jays, I think. He'd actually probably back Louisville. But
Wait, Blue Jays, that's Toronto, right?
Creighton.
Yeah,
Toronto Blue Jays is the...
Yeah, but you have a Blue Jay that's Toronto, right?
And you have the
So
Cardinals,
we'll
which
call
is St.
that
Louis.
one Drake, and we'll call this one the Cardinal Kendrick. So...
Well, let's go
We'll
through
make
the
this
stats.
No, we're making this a Kendrick Drake.
They both have a 1 in strength. They both have a 4 in agility. They both have a 2 in endurance. And they both have a 5 in charisma. But to me, Louisville just looks cooler.
I mean, I'm turning this into Kendrick and Drake.
So we're taking Louisville?
We're calling
We're
them singers. We're calling them songwriters.
So we're going to take the Cardinal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Taking Kendrick.
Now, Wolverine and a Triton.
What is a Triton?
Like the thing that
Aquaman
carries. And a Wolverine.
Okay, Wolverine's got this.
You want the stats? You got a small mammal versus a mythical legend.
I'm going...
You got a 3 in its strength and a 4 for the Triton. You got a 3 for agility for a Wolverine and a 2 for the Trident. In endurance, they both have a 4, and in charisma, the Trident has a 5 and the Wolverine has a 3 because it's an ugly animal. So who are we taking? I think if I had a Trident, I'm stabbing that thing in the head.
I mean, yeah. When you say
Wolverine, I also think like...
Yeah, I'm thinking that Wolverine. Yeah. I'm thinking...
This is Aquaman versus Wolverine. Who are we taking?
If we do Aquaman versus like X-Men Wolverine, then Wolverine.
Okay. Yeah, because you can't swim in the air, big dog. Come on now.
Yeah, come out this way. Come out to the desert. We'll fight.
All right, our next matchup is people versus small dogs. It's an Aggie, which is just a cowboy who's an engineer, and a bulldog. But he's a smart bulldog because he goes to Yale.
Definitely have to go with the Aggie.
Kicking that pug.
Curb stomp.
All right, are we going to pick an Aztec or a Tar Heel? A Tar Heel is a goat, and an Aztec, their civilization got wiped out by mono, I think.
You can't put that.
What wiped out the Aztec?
White people.
You can't put that in either. It was disease, smallpox, internal strife, and military tactics. So who are we picking? Are we picking a goat or a civilization that didn't make it?
I mean, if you had the goat travel back in time to fight the Aztecs, I think you get a whole bunch of Aztecs throwing some spears.
But what if they eat the goat and then they die because it's tainted meat?
But that's after they killed it. So they kill it, and then
we're taking the Aztecs.
Yeah, they just...
Okay, this leads us into the real pick. Are we going to take the rebels from the South, hotty-toddy drinking people, or the Aztecs?
I don't think the Aztecs could comprehend.
Hotty-toddy.
I think they're still recovering from the goat.
Yeah. That diarrhea is crazy. Okay. All right, we've got a cyclone, which is a literal tornado, versus a bison.
That bison's getting picked up and thrown, brother. It's gone.
All right, cyclones. Okay, a golden eagle or a lobos, which is just a wolf. Are you going to take your eagle pride here?
I mean, I think the eagle's going to swoop down and just start pegging out eyes of it. I don't think he can ever actually get a hand. If he can get a claw, if he can get a paw on that, then yeah. But, I mean, you got air versus ground.
I mean, they've got
that eagle starts dropping nukes. He's screwed. Pine cone nukes, bro.
So we're taking the golden eagles.
Yeah, we'll go with eagles on that.
All right, another military versus a small dog.
It's terrible.
The Spartans versus the Bulldogs. I think there's 8 Bulldogs in this year's bracket.
Goodness gracious, I'm gonna.
Are we gonna take a Spartan?
Yes. Start stabbing
shing,
it.
Shing, shing.
Trojan horse that dog.
Are you not entertained?
We're Trojan horsing that dog.
All right, a gator or a Spartan. I think a gator can take a Spartan. If you get in the water with a gator, I don't know of many people. That spear's not doing a whole lot.
I mean, unless the spear knows how to stab in the right spot, because you gotta hit the perfect spot for a gator.
But what if that gator just latches onto that spear and gator rolls.
I mean, then he's lost
He's
a spear.
breaking that in half, and he's killing you underwater. You're drowning.
I mean, have you seen a gator run? Them suckers are
Dude, they can get up to 15 miles per hour. I saw that on Animal Planet one time.
I'm about to go with a gator on that one.
Taking gator. All right, are we taking a big dog, husky, over the Sooners, who are basically just people who, like, they like roped cattle and stuff? I think if enough huskies gather around enough Sooners, they're taking you down.
But the Sooners have guns.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you think about
They also
the
have
Boomer Sooner, they'd be shooting them off.
They also have a carriage that flips over at the 40-yard line.
Well, you better hope that dog's not underneath that carriage.
I was about to
It's
say.
gone for.
We're taking the Sooners?
Yeah.
Pop, pop. All right, a tiger or a ram?
Tiger.
Yeah. I feel like a ram just, like, goes to buck you, and he just grabs onto his head.
I
or
mean,
his
you
neck.
got to think of a tiger's paw. It's just going to...
Yeah. All right, are we going to take a terrapin, which is a turtle, or a lope, which is a deer? Which I can't give them too much because a terrapin is technically like a snapping turtle, was what they make it out to be, but it just looks like a gay turtle. And then the lope is the Grand Canyon University deer, and it looks like a John Deere logo but purple.
What are the stats on this one?
The turtles have a 2 in strength, and the deer have a 4.
Okay, deer. That's all I need to hear.
The turtles have a 4 in agility, and the deer have a 2.
How does a turtle have 4 in agility?
A turtle has a 3 in endurance, and the deer has a 4. And they both have a 3 in charisma. Charisma doesn't give you anything in life.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with a deer. They start stomping on that turtle. That shell's not lasting.
A tiger or a bulldog?
Tiger.
Yeah, snatching him up. A red raider, which is just a cowboy, or a seahawk. I'm skeet shooting that thing out of the
I was
sky.
about to say, I think it's getting shot out.
A jayhawk, which is a mythical creature that's like a chicken or a dodo bird. And a razorback, which is basically a mad pig. Taking the razorback.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go razorback.
The red storm, which is a mythical bird that walks on 2 legs. It's like a cardinal, but it's also like a griffin. But it's red. Or a maverick, which is just a bull. I think the red storm takes it.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Okay, okay, are we taking an eagle or a mountaineer? A mountaineer is a guy with a gun who lives in the mountains and drinks moonshine. And an eagle is an eagle.
Mountaineer.
Okay. Are we going to take a mountaineer or the devil? The devil went down in Georgia, and he was looking for a soul to steal. Is the mountaineer going to kill him, or is the devil going to walk away?
Devil.
It's probably high on moonshine. He can't get past it. Are we taking a bulldog or a bear?
A bear.
Are we going to take a duck or a flame, which is... It's not actually a flame, it's an eagle. So are we taking a duck, which is a water bird, or a bird of prey, which is an eagle?
The eagle.
A wildcat or a zip? A zip is a kangaroo.
A wildcat.
I don't know, that kangaroo might... You ever seen a kangaroo box?
Yeah, but you ever seen a kangaroo get bit?
I've also seen a kangaroo drown a dog.
That's so bad.
They can swim.
I'm going wildcat.
I guess we're taking wildcat.
Yeah.
A cougar or a ram?
I'm going to go cougar.
Ram. A badger or a grizzly? I'm taking a grizzly.
Yeah, I was about to say grizzly on that one.
A gale? I had to look this one up.
What is a gale, bro?
It's an Irish or Scottish warrior. Hold on. A gale is a Scottish warrior, and a commodore.
What, an English one?
I don't remember what they are. Commodore 64. That's not what I'm looking for. It's a naval officer of high rank. Are we taking a warrior or a naval officer of high rank?
Naval officer.
Really?
Think about him on his ship just shooting at the Scottish guy.
Are we going to take the Crimson Tide, which is just a bunch of fat elephants with a red banner? Or a colonial? Because they got muskets. Also, fun fact about an elephant. All elephants are led by the mom, like the big mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you kill the mother, they all scatter and run in circles until they all die. So if you pick them off one by one, you can kill a whole herd of elephants.
But thinking about them running in circles, they start running your way. You're getting trampled.
Yeah, if you got guns.
But no, you said muskets.
Yeah.
So that's shoot one.
I guess. Don't ever.
That was me loading the musket, bro.
All right, we're taking the Crimson Tide, I guess. Bunch of elephants. All right. Do you want to take a cougar or a cougar? Let's look at where they're from. One's from Houston.
All right.
And one's from Illinois. Edwardsville, to be exact. I'm taking the Houston.
I'm taking Houston.
Are we going to take a bulldog or a bulldog? One's from Gonzaga and one's from Georgia. And Uga attacked an Auburn player, but nearly got killed by Bevo. I have not seen Gonzaga's bulldog do anything.
Yeah, I haven't seen him do anything.
So, based on fighting records, I'm taking Georgia.
Exactly. You have to, bro.
Are we taking a tiger or a cowboy?
Tiger.
And down goes McNeese. Are we going to take a Boilermaker, which is just a buff guy that carries around a sledgehammer, or a panther?
I mean, if he can...
He's technically Thor.
Let's go with Thor.
Are we going to take a musketeer, a dude with a sword and a funny hat? Possibly Mickey Mouse because of that one movie. Or are we going to take a longhorn? Is he chopping steaks? Or is Bevo taking home dinner? 3 musketeers or a steak is what you're picking from. A chocolate bar or a steak.
What are you thinking?
I think the longhorn kills the musketeer.
Okay, I was sitting in that boat.
Are we going to take the Fighting Illini, which is basically the entire state of Illinois? All the people of Illinois. Or are we taking a longhorn? They chop him up. Steak supper.
I mean, I think if you get a whole bunch in there, that bull's done for.
Yeah. So we're taking the Fighting Illini.
Yeah.
I'm probably butchering that. I think that's how it's pronounced. Are we going to take a Wildcat or a Trojan? And I'm not talking about skins. Wildcat or Trojan?
I'm going to go Trojan.
Because they got that big horse thing.
The Trojan horse?
Are we going to take a Bruin or an Aggie? A Bruin is just a bear. An Aggie is a bull. It looks like a suey pig looking thing. It does.
I'm going to go bear.
Yeah, that bear looks pretty sick, doesn't he?
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
Are we going to take a volunteer, which is just a redneck from Tennessee? Or are we going to take a terrier, which is a smaller version of a bulldog who doesn't do much, but barks?
We got to go with...
The redneck.
Yeah.
Okay, are we going to take a tiger or a cardinal?
A tiger.
All right, are we going to take a Wolverine or an Aggie?
Are we still talking about X-Men Wolverine?
Yeah.
I don't think we can. I think we have to look at it as a badger now.
It's not a badger, though. It's a Wolverine.
Still a Wolverine badger.
Taking Wolverine or we taking Aggie?
Who do you want?
I kind of want to get Wolverine.
You want Wolverine?
Yeah.
Okay, go Wolverine.
Are we going to take a Rebel, Hottie Toddy, or a Cyclone? A literal tornado.
Cyclone.
Or are we going to take a Golden Eagle or a Spartan?
A Spartan.
Yeah. Are we going to take a Gator or a Sooner? Are the Sooners walking out with Gator leather boots? Or is the Gator leaving with a Sooner?
Then later.
What are we picking?
Sooner.
The Sooner. Are we going to take a Tiger or a Lope? Which is just a deer.
Tiger.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. Are we going to take a Tiger or a Red Raider? Red Raiders. So it's a bunch of cowboys. Or are we going to take a Tiger? And the Missouri Tiger looks a little bit more feminine than the rest of the Tigers. Look at him.
He looks stupid. With a big old nose. Raiders.
Are we going to take a Razorback, which is just a pissed off pig, or are we going to take a Red Storm, which is a mythical bird who walks on two legs?
You like the mythical bird.
I kind of like the pig, though.
What are you feeling then?
What are you feeling?
What are you feeling?
I'm feeling like I don't want you to see what you're feeling.
Pig.
Are we going to take a Blue Devil or a bear?
Blue Devil.
Yeah, I feel like we have to. Are we
He's
going
going freezing.
Yeah. Frozone. Are we going to take a Flame, which is just an eagle, or a Wildcat?
A Wildcat.
Yeah, ripping that bird to shreds. A Cougar or a Grizzly?
Grizzly.
Yeah. A Commodore, which is a colonial naval, or a high-ranking naval guard, or a herd of elephants. Yes, we're talking about sports on this podcast.
Elephants.
A Cougar or a Bulldog?
Cougar.
A Tiger or a Boilermaker?
Tiger.
The Fighting Illini, so the people of the Illinois area, or the Trojans?
Trojans. Trojans.
A Bear or the Volunteers?
Bear.
A Tiger or a Wolverine?
What Wolverine are we looking at here?
I think we have to look at small cats now.
Okay. We can't do X-Men Wolverine.
Okay, so the Auburn Tiger is beating the Wolverine.
Yes.
Logan has died. Are we taking a literal
It's not
cyclone?
the first time.
Or the Spartans? I think once the cyclone dissipates,
There's a lot of Spartans still alive, so
we're taking the
a
Spartans.
few may fall, but some stand tall.
Please don't ever say that again. Are we going to take the Tigers or the Sooners? I think Tigers could take a Sooner in a fight. I think if enough Tigers herd up, they're killing the Sooners.
I'll have to agree.
Because you run out of bullets sooner or later.
Yeah.
Red Raiders or Razorback, which is just a pissed off pig.
You like saying a pissed off pig, bro.
I don't know. I feel like... You ever been hog hunting?
No.
Neither have I. But they just run through the trenches and stab him in the head. I think if a Red Raider gets on horseback and he's got one of those bayonets on his shotgun, shoom, poof, shoom, poof. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they usually... I've watched hog hunting. Sometimes they just ride out on an actual Polaris Ranger and they just... Oh,
See,
there's
they're
one.
not the Rangers, though. They're the Red Raiders, not the Red Rangers.
It'd be nice if they had some Rangers.
Honestly, though.
And some AR-15s and...
Yeah, I mean, they probably will now because Patrick Mahomes went there and he's probably donating money back to the school. But what are we taking?
Red Raiders.
Yeah.
Screw
That's a
that pissed
lot.
off pig.
Yeah, there's a lot of bacon. All
I
right,
want some bacon right now.
a Blue Devil or a Wildcat?
What are you thinking?
I think a Blue Devil takes it.
Okay, yeah, I was too.
He's a mythical creature.
You and these mythical creatures,
A
bro.
grizzly or a herd of elephants? It says grizzlies, but I still don't think a bear could take an elephant in a fight.
But if you have a whole bunch of bears...
If you have a whole bunch of elephants,
Go Grizzlies.
Grizzlies taking down the Crimson Tide. A cougar or a tiger?
Tiger.
A Trojan or a bear?
All right, did we have Trojans?
Trojans and bears.
I think if you got like 15 bears coming at you, it's just done so.
Hey Siri, how many bears normally travel in a pack?
Okay, I found this on the web for how many bears normally travel in a deck. Check it out.
Dick. They normally travel in twos. Trojans travel in a horse.
So what are you thinking?
I think the Trojans slaughtered the bears.
Okay, we'll go Trojan.
I think I could take a bear in a fight.
No.
Are we taking a tiger or Spartan? Or tigers or Spartans? I think if you let tigers loose and you have a bunch of Spartans. Have you seen Spartan or Spartacus or whatever the movie is? The 300?
Gladiator?
Gladiator, maybe?
No.
They'd put a tiger down in that little coliseum and get somebody to fight it one-on-one. And they put up a good fight. But if you get like 6 or 7 Spartans drunk, it's barbecue chicken from there. I'm taking the Spartans. What do you want to take?
Spartans.
Tigers and the Red Raiders.
Tigers.
Blue Devils and the Grizzlies.
Blue Devils.
Trojans and the Tigers. See, this is different. Spartans and Trojans fight differently. Trojans come by surprise.
What are your thoughts?
They built a freaking horse. A horse. I don't care if it's mythical. They built a horse and attacked the city. Took it overnight. So they were like, oh, there's a present. It's a horse. They started jumping out. Shang, 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 shang. Dead by morning time.
So are you saying Trojans?
I think the Trojans got it.
Okay, we'll go Trojans.
I think we've messed up. Spartans or Tigers again. Different tiger. They're taking the Memphis Tigers. They got gunshots. Who would take it?
They got Glocks with switches.
I got a Glock in my Rari.
Spartan.
A Blue Devil or a Trojan? See, we've messed up.
I'm going to go Blue Devil.
Yeah, I think we go Blue Devil. And then a Blue Devil and a Spartan.
Blue Devil again.
Blue Devil is our champion.
Duke.
What's the final score?
How
How many Spartans does he kill?
I'm going to go 103 to 98.
So it was close.
And Cooper Flagg wins MVP and then declares for the NBA draft.
As a freshman?
Yeah.
After winning Rookie of the Year and Player of the Year?
Yeah.
Wow. Let's make one more, but let's speed round it.
Speed rounding?
We're not thinking. Auburn or Alabama State?
Auburn.
Louisville or Creighton?
Louisville.
Michigan, UC San Diego?
Michigan.
Yale or Texas A&M?
Yale.
Ole Miss, UNC?
Ole Miss.
Lipscomb, Iowa State?
Iowa State.
Marquette, New Mexico?
Marquette.
Michigan State, Bryant?
Michigan State.
All right, I'm going to pick the West, and then you're going to pick the other one, and then I'll pick the Midwest. I'm going to take Florida, UConn, Colorado State, Maryland, Missouri, Texas Tech, Arkansas, St. John's. And then Duke, Mount.
Duke.
Mississippi State, Baylor.
Baylor.
Oregon, Liberty.
Liberty.
Arizona, Akron.
Akron.
BYU, VCU.
BYU.
Wisconsin, Montana.
Wisconsin.
St. Mary's, Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt.
Alabama, Robert Morris.
Alabama.
All right, I'm going to take Houston, Georgia, McNeese, High Point, Illinois, Kentucky, UCLA, and Wofford. All right, now we're going to reverse it. You're going to take Florida or UConn.
Florida.
Colorado State, Maryland.
Maryland.
Missouri, Texas Tech.
Missouri.
St. John's, Arkansas.
St. John's.
I'm going to take Auburn, Michigan, Ole Miss, Michigan State. I forgot which one you did. UCLA or Wofford.
UCLA.
Kentucky or Illinois.
Kentucky.
High Point or McNeese.
McNeese.
Georgia or Houston.
Georgia.
I'm going to take Vanderbilt, BYU, Liberty, and Duke. All right, are you going to take... I'm going to say... Oh, yeah, let's go back. Auburn or Michigan.
Auburn.
Ole Miss or Michigan State.
Michigan State.
All right, I'm going to take Florida and St. John's. All right. Duke or Liberty.
Duke.
BYU, Vanderbilt.
BYU.
I'm going to take Georgia and Kentucky. Auburn or Michigan State.
Auburn.
Duke or BYU?
Duke.
I'm going to take Florida and Kentucky. All right. You're going to be Auburn. I'm going to be Florida. We're playing rock, paper, scissors.
Auburn and Florida's rock, paper, scissors?
You're Auburn. I'm Florida.
Okay.
I'm going to put my hand under the desk. You're going to put your hand under the desk. On 3. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. You're Auburn.
I think so.
All right. You're Duke. Remember that. I'm Kentucky. All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. You're Auburn. I'm Duke. Okay. Rock, paper. Well, do we do best of 3 since it's the championship?
Sure.
Okay. You're Auburn. I'm Duke.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I won.
Dang.
Duke wins the championship.
I was fine with Duke winning anyways.
You can't do that. If you want to get into the bracket, the link will be in the bio of this episode. Make sure you get the bracket in by Thursday the 20th. If you go perfect for perfect, you'll win a care package and come on the show. If you don't go perfect for perfect, there's a gold star for you. We're only going to gift the perfect bracket. So if you feel like you have a perfect bracket, go ahead and enter. The password to get in from the link is RSN1234. Really simple, really easy. But yeah, get in the bracket challenge. Tune in next week. We should have a show next week if everything goes well. And yeah, this has been Rowdy Sports Network with Brice and Noah. We appreciate you guys for listening in, and we will see you guys next week. See ya.